in a 27-foot wall. It's overbuilt, yeah? But again, to emphasize, this cantilever of 2 foot solid filled concrete is leaning by itself. Couple the formal structure of a roof, and I'm talking about a full dress roof. It's going to have the big beams, which are going to give it meat. It's going to have the car decking, just like look at the inside of that ceiling in there. This is exactly what I'm going to make. I want this to be harmonious with that. In other words, it should look like when the builder built that, he built this. It's continuity. So I'm going to have that car decking underneath. It's going to have the plywood on top and shingles, drip edge, all the stuff. It's a full weighted roof, but it extends 6 foot out so that I get an 8-foot overhang here.
Absolutely.
What?
You need a permit for that.
Not where I'm from. I'm a homeowner builder. You know, there are those issues of permits and stuff. I didn't know that you needed one here in Oregon for this type of work. Seriously, you do?
It's like a wine cave. You don't need a permit, yeah.
The worst case scenario they do when you don't draw a permit is red tag the job. In other words, they stop you. You go pay the fine, which is double the cost of the permit, and you proceed. Wisdom has given me understandings that I have documented the steel, video and still photo for my own purposes, but I can now stand and say, oh, well, you don't think I'm overbuilt. I will not find a problem. The only thing I'll have is a red tag if that. But
why solid fill up there?
Oh, the concrete? Because this has got to be a monolithic. It's a cantilever. It's a foundation. This is a foundation for the roof, which is a lot of weight. You know the beams in my grain elevator, when they come down, they're 16 by 16. That's what I'm putting up on top there, is the big beams. They're solid old growth lumber, and they're pretty heavy. What about if the kids get up there and sit on it? I mean, I'm saying this is clay, 98%. I don't know, it's like, it's got a huge problem. If it gets saturated, it liquefies, the cohesiveness goes away, and this thing falls. I've made it strong all the way through, like a monolithic, you know, dam, if you will. I don't know. It isn't. I'm overbuilding, yes, huh? But that's the way I like it.
On your uprights?
The horizontal, no. Oh yeah, here like this, I'll do that every 4 feet. But that's not even really necessary, to be honest with you. The horizontal is it's this kind of a motion, and the tying it across ain't really going to do much, to be honest with you. I don't need the grit there. But any questions on this? These are acting like plywood. We're forming and we're going to pour.
Why did you elect to go short on the ends versus long out and have, you know, less mud work?
Say that again. I didn't follow you.
Okay, where you have here, you went short and put these in versus out and
because
have
I didn't think about what you just said. I will on the next ones.
Okay.
That's a good point. See what he said? There's more work the way I did this. I look at this almost every night and I think about it, and I never thought of that. Cut this piece to go on the outside and then put the other pieces to it. Yeah. I've done the opposite. I think I did so because of my calculation on the panel itself. I was getting the
and if you're gonna
waste,
you're gonna grind this back and
just this one
out,
stone. That one right there is pretty much.
This is going to be a
continuous
as opposed to having
no. I'm not. I'm going to make it all out. Remember, what I'm doing is I'm cutting. What about every 4 foot? I'm cutting a square in this that's 6 by 6, bending steel in it, and I'm gonna, when I pour that, I'm gonna have a little form out here and pour it. It's an arm for my seat, and then I'll bolt my wood seats to that. So I want it flush, because this is the back of the seat.
Right.
But again, this is going to be formed out. I tried to give you a profile of the column itself, and then understand the wood. And I don't know. I haven't talked to an engineer about the 6 foot overhang. I don't think my foundation's the issue. I'm saying, will my 6 foot 16 by 16 beam twist, warp, bow, because it's unsupported that far. 6 feet's a long cantilever, but I thought with the meat of a 16 by 16 inch beam.
It's a wood beam out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said solid fill concrete.
Oh no. Wood beam. It's going to be wood from that point on, and then I want to come back here probably about a 2 foot overhang.
Well, this is great. This is concrete.
But it's going to go this way, that beam?
Yeah.
Because you know the cantilever
concrete up to where the beam
forming.
Yeah, 2/3 back, 1/3 forward. I'm violating that, but That's what I'm saying. The only concern I have isn't
6 might not, I don't know.
16 by 16.
16. Okay.
It ain't gonna. I don't think it's gonna move. You know, back in Arizona, they had these things called Circle K. Well, they got them here, and they had big overhangs that were made from the store, and they had the 2/3, 1/3, but it was glue lams, and I just wanted that kind of a look. Oh yeah, yeah.
And 16 by 16 beam.
Sure.
Glue lam is a lot stronger.
Has the ability to, yeah.
But the rough, if the beam was prettier.
Oh yeah.
No, I understand that, but you do
I've
have
sawn them and put the steel in them. I've actually had the
face the beam so
T-shaped
you can't
steel
even
and epoxied it down into it.
Just to dress out. That's just a facade at that point.
I've had to do it
up
for
at the
bridge
border.
construction, but
up in Point Roberts, they have strange buildings. But they have metal. That the metal is, it's an I-beam, but then at right at the crossing, right by the crossing, but then they have it tied into the ground from the behind it.
Behind.
why don't you just mold the thing and then stamp?
Nah, man.
Like,
No.
you don't have to worry about
This will be given you. So you've seen up to this point. You're going to see step by step thereafter with the video that I'm shooting, and it'll be in that DVD course that I'm going to give you. So you'll see it, and it'll be a reference point for you.
You're going to bring these rocks or panels up, and so the whole face of this would be...
No, just the columns come up to this profile. The retaining wall itself is just here.
But I'm saying these columns are going to maintain that you're going to have just cut that arch right out of them, and then...
And mud it.
And then your beam's sitting on top of that.
Right.
If you mold those beams, you could sell them to us, so we can do the same project. See,
I don't know, man.
if you don't mold it, then how are we going to do it?
Oh my God, there's a lot of beams. A lot of beams.
Then you wouldn't have to do.
But anyway,
kill.
this is pretty straightforward. I mean, as far as joining the panels together, we think we understand that, right? They're not interlocking. What's nice about this, like I said, when you're making a column and you keep within the, I guess your biggest parameter, you could make a 4x4 column, but a 2x2 is perfect with this because every time you make the cut and you turn the corner, you actually make a join. Your rocks line up like they did here. They line up. See that? Where on this, I guess I put that nasty end back there. On one corner they don't. And I hid that towards the back because most of it will be submerged. So.
Rocking your rifle towers there?
No, we're a what's it called when you're a firebug? Pyro. I'm an ex-BT, a boiler technician, and
one of those.
we have a mantra of
You know what that
fire.
stands for, don't you?
What?
Barely trainable.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so the two Eiffel Towers, there's one over there, which I took out of the way just so I wouldn't get it messed up when I was working on this, but they'll be gas lined. Then we're going to have this, which isn't finished, and that isn't finished, but the cave here with a little fire in it, the cave here with a little fire in it, this will be on fire, and then about 4 foot back, there's going to be one about this tall, which will have fire in it. You remember my video with my pool? Where Skylar and Laura were sitting there and I came running into the scene, and then I came up, the waterfall was 10 foot high out of fire there on the spa. Like you'd be sitting in the spa right here, right behind you was a fire, but off the ground you had the 10 foot, the 4 foot, and then you had the ground fire. And we lived up on a hill, and when you looked at the place, it looked like the house was on fire. In fact, we had a couple of calls initially that they thought our house was on fire, but I love fire. We sit out here all winter. When it's not raining, my wife and I, every night we sit here and have a fire. And the waterfall, which I'm going to plug in now, is the other little, benefit, and then the little fire here. This little guy kicks out some heat, but this is going to kind of surround heat you, you know. This was the exact same panel that we made that one waterfall at the shop with. So, but look the dinkiness of that pond. That's the smallest pond I've ever made as a reservoir or a recovery area. And I'm not successful right away. Within moments, you start to see the splashing out of this. And mind you, it only gets right here. This becomes a spot right here. Is that acceptable? This deck is steel. This deck gets more water than you could shake a stick at. That deck out back is 22 years old. It's still with us barely, but it wasn't pressure treated like this was. This should outlast it, but this will sustain use with the water on there. It's not too much, but I'm going to make a removable rock that'll basically start here, come to here, fan out just a little bit, and then come over and then come down. As it goes, it's just going to get a little wide enough to cover that pump. Going to come up to here, just a little like this, but kind of right here. Down here, there's no